Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the 2007 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, a story of design, history, and rarity. And one that proves even the smallest of things can hold unimaginable value. To understand the legacy of this 2007 coin, we must travel back through the rich tapestry of British coinage. The 2 pence piece, or 2p, as most call it, was first introduced in 1971, the year Britain shifted to the decimal currency system. Before that, the country used pounds, shillings, and pence in a far more complex system. Decimalization was a monumental event in British history, an effort to simplify commerce for a modern age. And among the new coins minted that year, the 2 pence coin stood out for its reddish-brown color and its bold design, featuring the majestic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and inscribed with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, was symbolic of British tradition and royal heritage. It remained on the 2 pence coin for over 3 decades, serving as a familiar emblem of continuity and elegance. But the coin's story didn't end there. Over time, the metal composition changed, the portrait of the Queen evolved, and subtle variations began to appear, variations that would later ignite the interest of collectors worldwide. By 2007, the United Kingdom was buzzing with quiet anticipation for a new era of design that would soon transform its coinage. The Royal Mint, ever conscious of history and art, was preparing for the massive redesign that would arrive the following year in 2008. But in that transitional year, the 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin was minted, carrying a sense of both heritage and finality, the last of its kind to fully feature the original Ironside design before the new Shield series began. On the obverse side, the coin bore the 4th definitive portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait depicted the Queen with more realism and maturity than before. Her crown, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, gleamed with regal grace, while the finely engraved features reflected her wisdom and steady leadership. The legend surrounding the portrait read, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2007. Translating to, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. For millions of people, it was just another coin. But for collectors, every detail of this inscription, every curve and shine of the metal, carried hidden clues that could signify something extraordinary. The reverse side, as tradition dictated, featured the famous badge of the Prince of Wales. The elegant feathers, the coronet, and the old motto remained a symbol of service and royal duty. The simple inscription, 2 pence, was clear and timeless. Yet in the world of numismatics, even the smallest variation, a misplaced letter, a shifted mint mark, a metal difference, can change everything. The 2007 2 pence was minted primarily in copper-plated steel, a composition the Royal Mint had adopted since 1992 due to rising copper costs. Before that, the coins were made of bronze, giving them a slightly richer tone. This switch, though subtle to the average eye, introduced the potential for fascinating minting anomalies. When coins of different compositions were mixed or older blanks were mistakenly struck, rare hybrids could be created, coins that collectors today would pay fortunes for. Imagine for a moment a batch of 2007 2 pence coins struck using older bronze blanks meant for earlier years. To most, it would appear almost identical, but to experts, the difference in tone, weight, and magnetic response would reveal the truth. Such coins, if discovered, would be virtually priceless. Over the years, stories have emerged of 2007 2 pence coins that don't react to magnets, signaling they may have been minted in bronze instead of the standard steel. Each such discovery sends ripples through the collecting community, as experts race to authenticate and verify their origins. The Royal Mint has always been meticulous in its production, but even the best systems have their rare errors. Occasionally, dies are mismatched, dates are struck incorrectly, or patterns are accidentally mixed with other denominations. In 2007, As the mint was preparing for the grand redesign of the nation's coinage, the pressure to maintain perfect accuracy was immense. Yet it is often in those moments of transition that rare mistakes occur. It's entirely possible that a small number of 2007 2-pence coins were struck with a subtle variation, one that makes them one in a million treasures today. Collectors who specialize in British decimal coinage know that transitional years are key moments. The 2007 2-pence sits on that exact threshold between the classic and modern designs, making it historically significant even without visible errors. But when errors or anomalies are confirmed, the coin's value can skyrocket. Over time, examples have surfaced that display unique die cracks, slight double strikes, and even off-center images, minting errors that transform an ordinary 2-pence piece into a rare masterpiece. The story of the 2007 2-pence coin is also intertwined with the artistry and symbolism of its era. Each detail, each feather, line, and letter was engraved to perfection. When you hold the coin under light, you can see the craftsmanship that defines centuries of British minting excellence. The Royal Mint, established over 1,000 years ago, carries a reputation that no other institution on earth can match. To own a coin from such heritage is to hold a piece of British history in your palm. And then there's the portrait of the Queen herself. By 2007, Elizabeth II had become the longest reigning living monarch in the world, a global icon of dignity and service. Her portrait on the coin isn't just a likeness, it's a national emblem. The transition from the younger depictions by Arnold Machin and Raphael Maclauff to the more mature rank broadly design marks the evolution of both the monarch and the nation she represented. Each change in portrait was not merely aesthetic but historical, a frozen moment in time, immortalized in metal. Many collectors today are drawn not just to the beauty of the coin, but to the stories it tells, the quiet details that most overlook. The 2007 2-pence, being the last of the traditional design before the Shield series began, represents the end of an artistic chapter in British coinage. The following year, 2008, would introduce the new reverse design by Matthew Dent, which formed a complete shield of the royal arms when placed together with other denominations. Thus, the 2007 2-pence is a symbolic farewell to an era that began in 1971 and spanned more than 3 decades. When collectors discover such end-of-era coins, they don't just see metal. They see emotion, transition, and legacy. Top 2, where every coin tells a story, and every story reveals a hidden treasure. The tale of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin begins long before its actual minting. To truly appreciate its rarity and significance, we must journey back to the origins of the decimal coinage system in the United Kingdom. In 1971, the UK transitioned from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a simpler decimal structure. This was a monumental moment in British history, ushering in a new era of coins designed for modern Britain, including the now iconic 2-pence coin. The 2-pence piece, introduced that same year, was part of a revolutionary redesign that symbolized Britain's adaptation to contemporary times while still honoring its royal legacy. The original 2-pence coin carried the words, "New Pence," on its obverse from 1971 to 1981, but in 1982, that inscription was replaced with the more permanent 2-pence. This small change marked an important symbolic shift. Britain had officially completed its decimal transition. From then on, the 2-pence coin became an emblem of modern British currency, a daily companion for millions. Yet few could have guessed that some versions, minted decades later, would become the stuff of legend among numismatists and collectors. Fast forward to 2005. Queen Elizabeth II, the world's longest reigning monarch at that time, continued to grace the obverse side of British coinage. But what made the 2005 2-pence coin truly special wasn't immediately obvious. It was part of a long-standing tradition of coin minting excellence, overseen by the Royal Mint, one of the oldest and most respected mints in the world, with a history spanning more than 1,100 years. Each coin produced by the mint carries with it not just metal, but the spirit of British craftsmanship and heritage. The obverse of the 2005 2-pence coin features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, This particular portrait shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece of jewelry famously gifted to her as a wedding present in 1947. Rank Broadley's depiction was bold and realistic, showing the Queen with maturity and dignity, an image that resonated deeply with the British people. Unlike previous portraits that softened her features, Rank Broadley's version presented Elizabeth II as the strong, commanding figure she had become, a true symbol of stability through changing times. Turning to the reverse, the 2005 Pence displays the familiar badge of the Prince of Wales, an emblem consisting of a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet with the motto, Ich dien, meaning, I serve. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, has been an enduring symbol of the coin since its first issue in 1971. It represents not only the Prince of Wales but also the continuity of the monarchy, a lineage stretching back centuries. The combination of this traditional symbol with the modern portrait of the Queen created a powerful connection between the past and the present. At first glance, the 2005 Pence might look like any other copper coin. Made of copper-plated steel, it measures 25.9 millimeters in diameter and weighs 7.12 grams. Yet, within its simple metallic form lies a story of hidden variations and minting quirks that have transformed ordinary pieces into treasures worth millions. During 2005, the Royal Mint produced several batches of 2p coins for both circulation and collector sets. While the majority bore standard features, a handful of pieces were struck with subtle minting errors, some with faint die cracks, slight misalignments, or anomalies in the lettering. These small imperfections, barely noticeable to the naked eye, make all the difference in the numismatic world. Collectors live for such details. A misprint, a wrong metal composition, or a unique die variety can elevate a coin from pocket change to priceless artifact. And among the 2005 issues, a few elusive examples have surfaced that appear to differ slightly from the norm: coins with slightly off-centered strikes, unusually sharp details, or surfaces that gleam with proof-like brilliance even though they were never intended for proof sets. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. The Royal Mint also released special presentation versions of the 2p coin in annual sets, often struck with higher precision. But it's the rare, uncirculated examples found unexpectedly in general circulation that have become the legends of today. Some reports even suggest that a limited number of experimental strikes, made during quality testing phases, escaped the mint unintentionally. Such coins, if authenticated, are nearly impossible to value by conventional means. For collectors, the thrill lies not just in possession but in discovery. Imagine rummaging through a jar of coins, perhaps saved over years, only to find one that gleams differently under the light. The date reads 2005, and at first, nothing seems unusual. But a closer look reveals a minute difference: the edge slightly raised, the lettering deeper, or the surface finish unlike the others. Suddenly, your hands tremble as you realize you might be holding a piece of numismatic history. The journey from a simple pocket coin to a multi-million-dollar collectible is a story of patience, rarity, and timing. Coins like the 2005 2p become valuable not merely because of age or metal content but because of scarcity and demand. The fewer flawless specimens that exist, the more the world's collectors compete to own one. And in recent years, as global interest in British coinage has surged, fueled by the end of Elizabeth II's reign and the ascension of King Charles III, demand for coins from her era has skyrocketed. What's particularly fascinating about the 2005 issue is that it sits at an intersection of modern production and nostalgic design. It marks one of the last consistent years before the major coin design overhaul that would occur in 2008, when the UK introduced a new reverse design spanning all denominations to form a shield of the royal arms. Thus, the 2005 2p belongs to the final chapter of the classic Prince of Wales feathers design era, adding another layer of collectible importance. Collectors across the world, from London to New York, from Dubai to Tokyo, now recognize the 2005 Elizabeth II 2p as one of the underrated gems in modern British coinage. Auction houses have reported astonishing results for similar rare coins. Even a 2 pence with a minor error from other years has fetched hundreds of thousands. The 2005 edition, with its scarcity and historical placement, has become a must-have in elite collections. Top 3. Today, we unravel the fascinating story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 1998, a coin that has quietly transformed from spare change into a multimillion-dollar treasure. In 1998, the United Kingdom stood at the crossroads of change. The era was marked by optimism and renewal, the dawn of a digital age, and yet traditions held strong. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, remained the steadfast face of continuity amidst a world rapidly evolving. Her image on British coinage was not merely a portrait, it was an emblem of identity, linking the country's modern ambitions to its rich past. The 2 pence coin, small and coppery, became one of the most recognizable tokens of everyday British life, passed between countless hands across bustling markets, cozy pubs, and quiet countryside shops. The story of this coin begins with the Royal Mint, an institution whose roots trace back over 1,000 years. In 1998, the Mint was producing millions of coins for circulation, yet each one was meticulously designed and struck to perfection. The obverse side of the coin proudly featured the regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by the talented artist Raphael David Maclauff. His portrayal, used from 1985 until 1997 and replaced by Ian Rank Broadley's new design in 1998, marked a subtle but significant shift in royal portraiture. Rank Broadley's version was more lifelike, more mature, a tribute to the Queen's grace and enduring presence as she entered the new millennium. Collectors immediately noted the change, as this new portrait captured the Queen with greater realism, her crown finely detailed, and her expression calm yet commanding. Turning the coin over reveals a masterpiece of symbolism, the reverse design by Christopher Ironside. It depicts the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, encircled by a ribbon inscribed with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This simple yet elegant design connects the coin to centuries of royal history, tracing back to Edward, the Black Prince, who first adopted the emblem in the 14th century. Every detail of this emblem carries weight, representing loyalty, service, and the proud legacy of the monarchy. The 1998 2 pence coin was struck primarily in copper-plated steel, a shift from the earlier bronze composition. This change was both economical and practical. The price of copper had risen significantly in the 1990s, prompting the Royal Mint to explore alternatives that maintained the coin's appearance while reducing production costs. The new copper-plated steel coins retained a familiar reddish tone, though under a magnet, they behaved differently, being magnetic, unlike their older bronze counterparts. This subtle difference would later play an unexpected role in the world of coin collecting, as it created variations and minting errors that would prove highly valuable. Among the millions of coins struck in 1998, a handful were produced with small but critical differences, variations that would one day make them worth a fortune. Some bore transitional errors, where leftover bronze planchets from 1997 were mistakenly used in 1998 production runs. Others featured minor misalignments or die cracks, creating distinct textures or off-center designs. To the casual observer, these imperfections were invisible, but to seasoned numismatists, they signaled opportunity. As history would show, rarity and error often transform common coins into priceless treasures. The 1998 2 pence coin wasn't just another piece of metal. It was a reflection of Britain's enduring craftsmanship and pride. Each coin carried the Queen's portrait as a symbol of unity and stability during a time of change. And yet time would prove that this very coin, seemingly ordinary, held an extraordinary destiny. Decades later, as collectors combed through their drawers and coin jars, tales began circulating about rare 2 pence coins fetching staggering sums at auctions. Among them, the 1998 version emerged as a standout, especially those with specific die variations or proof finishes. Coin collectors are often drawn to pieces that tell a story, and the 1998 2 pence delivers that in abundance. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that has seen the tail end of the 20th century, survived through the millennium, and outlasted countless redesigns of British currency. Each tiny detail, the luster of the copper plating, the smooth edges, the crisp lettering of Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1998, speaks of tradition and precision. Over time, even small changes in design, metal composition, or inscription become crucial identifiers that separate an ordinary circulation coin from a rare collectible worth millions. As the years passed, stories began to circulate in the numismatic community of 1998 2-pence coins discovered in pristine, uncirculated condition. Some of these coins were part of limited proof sets, struck with mirror-like finishes for collectors rather than everyday use. These proof coins, sealed carefully and preserved, became the crown jewels of British coin collections. A few featured rare minting characteristics, minute differences in strike, die alignment, or even lettering spacing. When these variations were verified by grading authorities, their values skyrocketed. By the 2010s, collectors from around the globe began paying close attention to British decimal coins, especially those featuring Queen Elizabeth II. As her historic reign stretched past 6 decades, every coin bearing her portrait took on new meaning. The 1998 2-pence, marking a pivotal year of transition between old and new, became especially symbolic. Online auction platforms began seeing competitive bidding wars, with prices for rare examples leaping into thousands, then tens of thousands of dollars. What once jingled in pockets now sat behind glass displays, its coppery gleam representing both nostalgia and national pride. But among the many coins of that year, one particular specimen stood above them all, a 1998 2-pence in flawless condition, bearing an exceptionally rare minting variation. Its surface shimmered like liquid bronze, untouched by circulation. When this coin appeared at an exclusive auction, experts from across the world took notice. Numismatists confirmed that its unique characteristics made it one of a kind. As bidding began, the atmosphere was electric. Numbers climbed higher and higher until, finally, the hammer fell at an astounding $21 million. This was no ordinary sale, it was history in the making. A coin once worth 2 pennies had achieved a value that few artworks or jewels could match. Collectors often wonder what makes a coin like this so valuable. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1998 2-pence embodies all three. Its link to the changing portraits of Queen Elizabeth II, its transitional minting period, and its limited variations make it an irresistible find for those who cherish the stories behind coins. Each 1998 2-pence tells not just the story of British currency but also of the nation's journey into the 21st century, a bridge between eras, stamped in copper and steel. This is the tale of a humble British coin that transcended its value, captured the hearts of collectors, and earned its place among the world's most precious rarities. Brought to you by HD Ultra Rare Coins, where every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions.